Okay.
Shashank Deka is going to present a case study on Android OS. So listen.
So, good afternoon, friends. So, most of 70% of electronic devices you're using in your hands is almost Android. Yes or no? Yes. So, evolution of Android, what were the OS before Android? So, anybody can take a guess about any two operating systems apart from Android and iOS?
Windows, Linux,
Mobile device. Apart from Android and iOS, any two operating systems? Other than that? So, Linux, okay. How many of your dads in the late 90s are using BlackBerry? Other than? Okay, BlackBerry was also an OS. Symbian was also an OS before Android. So Android was developed in the year 2003 by Phil and bought by Google INCs in the year 2005. So what is the difference between the network and the internet between before 2005 and now? Difference. What difference do you see?
extra features, now everything become like touch-based. Before the Android was like just keypad.
Before and after? Speed. Security. Any answers from here?
New features,
Features.
Nowadays, networks supports
updates,
Multiple
Nowadays, network supports multimedia service.
multimedia services.
multitasking,
Multitasking.
updates.
So what is the difference? Development.
Technology.
Development is a big task. So, what do you think the price of 1 GB in abroad? In US,
And they were what?
1 GB internet.
15.
Huh? What is in India?
90 rupees.
Why here?
12 rupees.
So, I am going to explain how development of Android, the open source, have been a part of development in the whole world. So guys, Android illana enella aayirkalam. We will be lacking in technology. Yes or no? We will be lacking in technology. Other than that,
Communication.
lacking in communication,
Knowledge level.
knowledge. Other than that,
Minimum of users.
minimal users. So for now, billions of dollars have been earned using operating systems. So I need answers from you. How? How is the development done? Sorry, can you repeat the question? Before and now, what if Android does not exist?
We couldn't have seen many of the apps.
Apps,
Hardware apps.
hardware options. So the main thing is Android was given as open source. So it allowed users like Oppo, like you have seen ColorOS, lots of OSs to have customizations in their own things. So Android allowed as an open source, not at a free cost, an operating system at a free cost, which made a big revolution in the tech industries. So what revolution could you think it had been happened? How many $1 billion could have been happened by Android? So everything in your hand is if you want to message your friends or family in the late 2005 or something, how would you do it? SMS, mail, and what if now? So we have multiple options. So the reason is it was developed as open source. Google INCs had been and it started as Android 1.0 in the year 2003. So the first phone was HTC. How many of you used HTC? I personally used, my dad used it. HTC was the first phone with an Android OS. So you have seen in the year 2010 or something, we had 1 GB in the sense, or 2 hours use பண்ணலாமா 1 GB. அந்த காலத்துல it was very slow. It was very slow. What if now?
What do you think?
So most of the revenue is generated by internet. The biggest revolutionizing internet company is Jio. Yes or no? So you have seen some news called Jio and the famous Disney Hotstar. Nivara தெரியுமா? Which GPUs Nvidia and Jio is working on a project to develop some kind of gaming stuff. So apart from that, Android is an open source which has been revolutionizing the world for the last 15 years, and almost 70 to 80% of your electronic gadgets are made by Android, powered by Android, and it has been used everywhere. So any questions and queries?
How did Android earn? Because it is an open source.
Yes, it is an open source. So how is Google Maps earning?
Through our data.
You know, how is Google Maps earning? How?
They get every knowledge about our locations and then
Users. Android developer uses it. So as Android is an open source, they provide customizations to particular things called. You have lots of mobile companies. Any one or two? One mobile company. So Android as an open source provide an operating system to those companies to customize according to its hardware. So which phone is best for gaming?
Red Magic.
Red Magic. And then Poco. Budget Poco. And then you're missing a masterpiece.
IQ.
Okay. So as it is Pocos and your ROGs are operating system, it must be customized according to the GPUs and RAMs. So these customizations can be done in open source Androids. Any queries? I need everybody to ask questions. Sir. Queries? Doubts? Srikanth?
What would have happened if iOS also was open source?
If iOS was also an open source, it would be competitive with an Android. But the market for Android is larger than iOS.
what are the disadvantages of Android? What are disadvantages of Android?
Android is a security reasons. Other than security reasons, Android is an open source, lot of people who misuse it.
Who is in favor of Android?
Something like Fin lecture. So I'll ask you one question. What version of Android are you using?
14.
How many are using still 30? Android 30. So Android is in the 14th generation.